Hey guys, Cam here from today's iPhone.com, and today I have a review of the ZAGGKeys Mini 7. It's the iPad mini keyboard slash case that ZAGG released almost as soon as the iPad mini was out. I've only had my hands on it for about a week, but I've been using it every now and then just to see how it performs. Obviously I've used two of the other ZAGG keys before and I was very impressed with them, so I had high hopes for this one. And spoiler alert, sadly, it just didn't live up to my expectations as compared to previous ZAGG keyboards. Now this model itself, this Mini 7, will cost you $89.99 from the ZAGG store. I'll just give you a quick overview of it. As you can see from the outside, it's got this kind of leather-like finish all the way around. On the back as well, but you can see it's got a camera cutout just here. Cutouts for volume, mute switch, headset jack is exposed, and obviously on the bottom you have cutouts for all the areas that you need it, i.e. lightning connector and the stereo speakers. Now on the back as well you also have this cool little kickstand. It's got a ribbon attached to make sure it doesn't just fly off, which your iPad uses to rest like so. Now obviously the main purpose of this is to be a portable keyboard, and that's where it is in there. Now if I start off with the positives first, considering how small this keyboard is, it's actually impressive how well they've managed to get decent sized keys in here with enough separation between them to make it fairly easily typable. But if we go on to the typing action, I'm just going to type a message here. Hi, this is Cam typing on the Mini Keys 7, not 8, 7, and send. Now as you can see, typing is relatively fast, and considering its size, it's impressive. Now as I showed you just now, typing on this is pretty easy. The only frustrating things for me really was that for $90 I expected a much higher fit and finish, much better build quality and material quality. It doesn't feel, I mean, the outer case doesn't feel like a quality case. Although it is thick, it's rubberized, it's really protective, it does its job well. But things like the caps lock coming off every now and then, the button just pops out. And these, the power button and the pair button, believe it or not, is these two where the icons are. Now if you feel along the surface, you can't really tell that these two are buttons at all. And then to actually get them to register anything, you have to press pretty hard. It doesn't feel like a button. There's nothing that tells you you've pressed it. There's no click, there's no tactile response that you would get from a normal button, and that can get quite frustrating. And also another thing, I know I'm sounding like I'm moaning about it a lot, but it's because ZAGG for me is one of those companies that produces really good gear, and this hasn't lived up to my expectations at all, sadly. It doesn't have a magnet to hold this in place, so you put it up and it kind of falls down that way. Now if you've got it on its back or on its front, obviously the weight is going to hold it shut, but as soon as you hold it this way, it's just going to pop off. And there's no, I just don't understand. It almost feels like ZAGG have rushed it to market a little bit. Now if you absolutely have to have a case that works as a keyboard with your iPad mini, there aren't many other ones to choose from, and if there are, they're going to be much worse than this, that's the fact. But personally, if I was going out with my iPad mini and I wanted a keyboard, I would choose the ZAGGKeys Flex, which comes with a stand for the iPad and a bigger, larger keyboard that's going to not break. But if I was going to give this a mark out of 10, I'm going to say 6. It has let me down a bit. It's got a good typing experience, it's quite protective, but there are certain things on there that let it down that aren't really excusable, sadly. So yeah, 6 out of 10 for that. If you want to ask me anything about it, feel free. I'm on Twitter @TIP_Cam, and I'll see you again soon.